Hello, everyone. We welcome you to this roadmap updates for Eastnets, the annual event that we normally do it for our partners in APAC. I believe most of you met me and virtually met me, of course. Due to COVID, I didn't meet most of you. I have with me more our product team who will be sharing with you all the updates on our roadmaps and the way forward for our strategy in 2023 and beyond. With me is Dennis. Dennis is our new channel manager or a new channel director, global channel director. I will hand it over to him for an introduction for himself and our way forward with our partner strategy.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Good morning. Well, good afternoon for you. It's 6 o'clock for me. I'm still on my first cup of coffee, but I do feel very energized to be here, very excited. I think I have already met some of you. I'm still to meet, a lot of you. Hopefully, in the weeks and months to come. So as Mohammed said, I joined the company rather recently. As to head the channels, to channel activities globally. But I'm very excited, very interested to be here. And one of the key reasons why I joined the company, and one of the main things that stood out for me when I started my career here, was the quality and the caliber of our partner network. And of course, most of you have been working with our company for a very, very long time. And for now, you have much more history than I do. So you can probably testify more than I can just yet about the long journey and the road to success and customer support that the companies have taken together. I think it's also fair to say there have been probably some rough patches along the way. That's absolutely normal in the business environment like ours. I think last year, 2022, probably had a few challenges, but I think we have a fantastic year ahead of us. The product team is here to tell you about the products that they have been working on, the exciting developments. Because as you can imagine, as I'm sure you know very well, for a technology company like ours, having the best possible product is really vital in order to succeed jointly. As a result, we will demonstrate to you what tremendous investment Eastnets has been making into our products, and and how we plan to increase the customer satisfaction, and how we plan to allow these products to provide new exciting commercial opportunities for us. So in the course of the presentation today, the product leaders will tell you about what market trends and challenges we're seeing in the market currently, what we did and how we invested in 2022 to resolve those and to address those challenges, and what we're planning to do in 2023. Now, needless to say, we're making this investment in order to grow revenue in the coming year together with you. And I think the key focus for the next year for us jointly will be A, on increasing the existing customer satisfaction, securing the revenues, and B, very, very importantly, in attaining new revenue, hopefully growing more, getting some new business, getting some new customers for our new and exciting products. So without further ado, I'll hand it over back to Mohammed to talk about the agenda and a few house rules for today, how we plan to run this webinar. And from there, we'll start the product presentation. Thank you very much and enjoy.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. As highlighted by Dennis, we always believe that our partner success is our success. So the more we can provide to our partners, we will do. We had hiccups in the past. Of course, it's due to the products scope that we have. It's a big product scope, so it's normal in the software industry. So we are working together. Alongside with the hiccups, we had some good success stories, and we have good presence in APAC thanks to our partners in the region. So now we are trying to work together into enhancing this footprint in APAC. So that's why we are sharing with you all the updates. We will be more engaging with you, and this is I believe it would be a good start for this year. For today's meeting, the agenda will be as follows. Dalia, today it will be, of course, an introduction that has been done by me and Dennis. We will be having our director of products, Mr. Saeed, who will go take us through the strategy for the company as a whole. For today's session, it will be more focused on the compliance part and financial crimes. Tomorrow, it will be more into payments. After Mr. Said, we will be discussing the roadmap of the screening, especially for version 5. We will be having Mr. Ilyas and Sameh. Most of you know Sameh already. He was one of our heroes in professional services, and now he's handling that product, the screening product. He's one of the best experts, as you know. After that, we will have a quick break if you want to prepare your own coffee or to do whatever you would like to do. After that, we will be discussing also with Rasha, who you are also familiar with. We will be discussing the AML KYC, of course, AML for both the online and offline with all the capabilities. After that, we will be discussing the payment guard with our product manager, Atallah. And last but not least will be the training and certifications by our great Reem Hattar. She will take you through what we are planning to do with our certifications and trainings. Of course, as a housekeeping rules, we will be welcoming all your questions. Please put your questions on the chat box. We will be happy to answer it. We will take questions session by session. So for example, for the screening, we will take the questions. Of course, we will give some time to these questions. If we were not able to answer everything, we will come back to you by email. Or at the end of the session, if we had some time, we will answer more questions of what we get. Thank you so much. Please focus on this. Please have your time. Whatever questions you have, please let us know and enjoy these sessions. Said, it's all over to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohammed and Dennis. And firstly, a very warm welcome on behalf of Eastnets to all our channel partners. Happy New Year to you all. My name is Saeed Patel. I'm the Group Director of Product Development Management. You'll be hearing from each of our key experts from the product team today on the financial crime and compliance risk portfolio products. I'm based here in our London office. We are expanding globally as an organization. Just want to start really give a quick recap in terms of our products portfolio and strategy that we have, and just give you a quick overview of Eastnets. I'm just going to scroll through. So, in terms of the three key areas of Eastnets product and services, we continue to invest in our very compelling and comprehensive suite of compliance solutions, which is principally focused on financial crime and compliance, payment solution products, and underpinned by our cloud strategy. And fundamentally, the product portfolio we have been incrementally developing. The major investment is actually around new functionality and capability of those products, investing in innovation. And today we believe we have a very strong portfolio of products and award-winning solutions that are out there. So just going to move swiftly on. And with regards to our customer base, SafeVault screening continues to be Eastnets' flagship product. You'll be hearing today the tremendous investment that we have made on a new modern microservices architecture. Today, we have in the order of 300 customers for SafeVault screening. we're being recognized for the new technology that we implemented, the new platform V5. This actually went live with most of our customers in the UK as well as the Nordic regions. So this is a very proven capability, and it's been recognized as an award-winning solutions. Coupled to that, we're seeing great demand for our chain feed product. Chain feed is our blockchain solution on real-time list load. And due to the geopolitical events, we're seeing a huge amount of changes with regards to sanctions lists and the need for banks really to have up-to-date and near real-time solutions around sanction screening. With regards to our global customer footprint, the channel partners really provide a very strong contribution with regards to the customers' portfolios that we have. And APAC in particular is our really strongest market when it comes to channel partners. So we thank you for the excellent strategic relationship that we have in the APAC region. We want to do more, and we believe we're in a very powerful position to do that. And we have really a growing customer list, which is licensing not just one product, but multiple products. And also we're seeing a growing interest from customers to migrate to the cloud as well. Not just the Service Bureau for Eastnets for our Swift services and connectivity, but also providing Eastnets a fully managed hosted solution through our cloud offering, as well as public cloud offering, which we have actually aggressively launched in a number of markets in 2022. So we'll move on. Right, so in terms of our product strategy, we are really investing and developing out our solutions holistically on this. We have our central suite of products from SafeWatch Screening, SafeWatch AML Online, Offline KYC, SafeTrade, Payment Guard. These are our financial crime and compliance risk products. Now, this is really underpinned now with regards to having a central messaging hub, which is our payment safe solution, ensuring that our applications are API based to take really maximize the opportunities with regards to integration, whether it's opportunities with open banking, integration with back office banking systems, to provide multi-network support across different payment types. Really a platform which is real-time. Real-time risk management is increasing focus for regulators. And we're investing significantly in each of these products that you'll hear of today, plus also building out solutions such as AI. AI is now a very central part of our innovation strategy. And also how we holistically bring data together, particularly in terms of disparate case managers into one unified case manager. And we'll be talking more about that in a moment. So in terms of our overall product strategy, just want to highlight some key themes, just moving forward. So innovation. We've been doing significant investment over the last year and continue to do so in 2023 with regards to artificial intelligence, data analytics, and blockchain. We believe that there is significant requirements from our customer base with regards to having more efficient, optimum systems using AI and machine learning, having intelligence with regards to resolving really most complex of activities, whether it's using predictive modeling to identify anomalies and suspicious behaviors, whether it's segmenting customers using machine learning to identify behavioral patterns and behavioral drift. Using data analytics, having really deep insights around the data that we have. And in 2022, for a number of products, we have implemented an investigator tool. We have also been implementing solutions around visualizations using complex graphing technologies. And then we've also got blockchain. We've invested in blockchain through our chain feed solution, and this continues to be a very important product for Eastnets as part of providing real-time sanction streaming solutions. Best-in-class technology solutions is ensuring that the platform that we invest in is really the state-of-the-art modern architecture. V5 for safe water screening was a major investment, a multi-year investment around a microservices architecture. It's cloud-enabled. We've made similar investments across the product portfolio. And then we have API. So all our products are API enabled. It is to provide seamless integration with banking systems in particular, and all our products are integrated within themselves through APIs. And holistic solution, you'll hear lots of about this, and it's really how we can bring data together across the plethora of products that we have. And increasingly regulators are looking for financial institutions to join the dots, right? And we're able to do that through the solutions that we have. And we're using very smart technologies, including data streaming technologies such as Kafka, how we're bringing that data together in real-time mode. And we're investing in the unified case manager to give you that holistic view. And also we're applying AI, artificial intelligence, not just within individual products, but holistically across looking at the data across multiple solutions that we have. And then finally, it's product differentiation. It's really important that the investment strategy that we're embarking on provides a unique proposition into the marketplace. And today you'll hear about the product differentiation across all of our key products. So key themes are we continue to invest. We are being more aggressive than we have been in the past, particularly around innovation. And we're very much looking to get your feedback in terms of the new products and services that we've launched. In terms of our innovation strategy of artificial intelligence, this is actually a very carefully managed roadmap that we're undertaking. Many of our banks have been talking to us with regards to their main challenges, and this is particularly around false positive reductions, around alerts, and improving the quality of detections. So we're doing this through, first of all, approaching this by enhancing a rule-based solution, but also supplementing that with AI. And AI is actually sitting on top of the rules-based solution. But as we go through this journey, it is an integral part of our solution. So this is actually developing products such as the investigator tool, which assists in AI explainability, having an AI-driven risk scoring solution, and then to really move into the area of AI-driven decision making. And this is really exciting because this is where the machine learning really takes over. But this is all done in a very controlled process. This is not a black box solution. This is ensuring that compliance and investigating officers always have full explainability of the results that we are providing. And ultimately, we're going down the route of a holistic AI BI solutions, bringing really data together across multiple products and being able to get those powerful insights across really a very large data set. And it's going beyond just looking at structured data, but it's looking at non-structured data, behavioral data, and even looking at adverse media. Moving forward, very briefly, the Unified Case Manager is a new product initiative that we are launching in 2023. Our feedback from customers is they really need a consolidated view of all their cases, And so far as to say that this is not just a solution to have a central case manager for the Eastnets products, but to integrate the banks and third-party case management solutions. This is in the infancy. We hope to do a minimum viable product and have a solution towards the second half of this year. But we're very excited by the opportunities ahead with this, and we're going to overlay this with AI and machine learning. And just to highlight, this will cover all of our key products. And a number of our products, particularly in the payments area, do not have case managers, so we'll be introducing that for the first time. Our Safe Trade product, which is comprises our screening AML solution, we will be having a centralized case manager for the Safe Trade solution. So we're really excited by what we will be doing in this area. And with regards to recognition within the industry, Eastnets really has been working very hard on this, and we engage each year with leading market research companies such as Chartis, Celent, and we've really have made a huge success in 2022 and going into 2023. Just want to share some of those with you. In the financial crime and compliance risk area, we were awarded by Chartis, one of the leading market research companies operating within the risk management space, that we were evaluated against the leading vendors in the marketplace, and we were awarded as category leader for watch list monitoring, name screening, and AML transaction monitoring. Testimony of the investment that we're making and continue to do so within the platforms. Reg-tech 100 is probably one of the most comprehensive evaluation of risk management solutions, and the evaluations comprises 100 of the leading companies globally in the risk management space, and we year on year we have been increasing our ranking, and in 2023 we increased our ranking up to 55. We're now positioned at number 55, and we're really pleased with that. We are a global Reg-tech 100 company, signifying our investment in innovation. And in Quadrant Knowledge Solutions, another market research company, we were awarded as a technology leader in the area of financial crime solutions. So overall, really healthy situation with regards to recognizing by independent market research company the strengths around the products, and we will continue, I believe, to get further recognition going forward. So thank you so much. I'm going to hand over to my colleague now, Ilyas Haddad and Samir Al-Qadi. They'll take you through the SafeOps screening, and please feel free to put any questions that you have on the chat, and we will take responses. We'll make responses to those questions at the end of each session. So thank you so much. I'll hand over now to Ilyas.
Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Today, we're gonna take a look at SafeOps screening's roadmap, as well as our strategy for AI and the holistic scope over the new version of SafeOps screening 5.0. For the last few years, we have been investing in revamping the architecture of SafeOps screening. Hence, there was a decision to move from the monolithic architecture that we used to have into the microservices architecture, which gave us endless opportunities when we want to look at adding new features or enhancing our performance, or looking at false positive reduction and other areas. With this move, we are now able to look into the future when it comes to transactions per second, when it comes to acquainting to new services, or pushing the limits when it comes to screening itself. Along with that, we were rigorously looking at the false positive reduction, which is a crucial part when it comes to screening customer satisfaction and the utilization of resources in the financial institutions. Last year's roadmap were focused around that, and hence we were looking at ways into the false positive reduction journey, for which one of the key elements that we were able to produce are the pre-exclusion rules or the pre-filters. With this at hand, along with the post-exclusion rules and the way that we're looking at it, we are now able to reduce the false positives when it comes to the input that is coming into the system and the output that is going out from the system. So when we look at the current architecture that we have at the moment, it is divided into 3 phases: the pre-filtration, the screening itself with the engine, as well as the post-filtration. Now, with the pre-filtration, the pre-exclusion rules that we have produced will enable customers to utilize the flows of data to specify what can be excluded from the screening itself and what can be included. For example, if we're looking at a certain flow of messages and the financial institutions want to screen cross-border transactions rather than local transactions, this can be done via these pre-filters, as well as the ability to eliminate or remove the screening of certain elements within a SWIFT message. This has 2 benefits. One is the reduction of false positives that can be produced from these messages that has been excluded, as well as reducing the strain on the engine, which gives it a more ability towards handling sets of inputs or screening from the raw data that is going into the system. When it comes to the engine, we looked at certain areas within the 5.0 version, whether it's the screening process itself, from the algorithm to the logic, to all of the areas within it, as well as looking at specific features to enhance. What we have added is the extra ability within 5.0 towards the fuzzy logic for Arabic language screening. And we're looking to expand this in the future because we want to look at other languages other than under fuzzy logic, other than the English and Arabic language. Plus, we were looking at the UI itself, for which it got some enhancements, whether it's the view or the handling of certain areas within the system. Now, the system itself, accompanied by the microservices architecture, has an RESTful connection of interoperability within the system, which gives it more strength and expansion within the system, as well as the microservices provides the ability to add and remove certain areas or algorithms without impacting other areas as it is within the monolithic architecture. For the post-filtration, the already existing elements that you already know, whether it's whitelisting under good guys, the non-violation filters, or what we call now exclusion rules, the replay. Now, the addition will be over the exclusion rules or the violation filters is the ability of having fuzzy logic within those exclusion rules, which expands this ability into handling multiple variations when it comes to the names. And this reduces the amount of filters or rules that should be written. For example, if we're looking at the name Sameh, where the E is replaced by an I and so on, this will be one violation filter or exclusion rule that accompanies this variation, giving it the ability to handle more areas and with less efforts when it comes to writing these violation filters. When it comes to AI, one of the elements or the initial elements that we looked at is the FATF16 capability, where we have added the AI ability for detecting meaningless words, which expand the ability of the FATF16. We're looking at other elements when it comes to the AI and integration with CFO screening, which we will be describing in a few minutes. So as we stand today, the key elements or the value proposition that we have as we speak is the new version of CFO screening, the 5.0, with its new architecture and the revamped services. The ISO 222, as you all know, the SWIFT is moving the whole globe into the CPBR Plus under the new ISO 222 formats. With that, we have added the ISO configuration module, which enables easy configuration of the messages. Why did we opt to do that rather than having these messages added in the same way that we have done for the SWIFT, for SWIFT RG or FIN messages? Instead of customers waiting for these specific builds whenever there is a change or whenever there is a variation, which adds more stress for the customers when they want to test, when they want to deploy, when they want to test, as well as the customization that is being done by SWIFT or by the users, where they are using a variety of ISO messages, like the PAX 008. The ISO configuration module enables the addition of any message via its schema file, where the fields are selected, and then they can start testing. This reduces the amount of time that the customer needs, as well as it will give them the comfort to test once they add these messages, reducing the time and efforts from the FIs to add any new messages. For the false positive reduction and the rules-based, what we mentioned under the exclusion rules or the violation filters, previously called violation filters, we have been successfully able to reduce false positives with customers up to 80% or more, depending on the areas and the flow of data that they had. So each of the flows, for example, if we're looking at incoming or outgoing SWIFT messages, if we're looking at database screening, each of them has its own way of handling of these rules and the percentage of the reduction of data. On top of these, we will be looking in the coming slides over our AI journey and how it will add that extra value towards these rules-based false positive reduction techniques, not mentioning the good guys or the ranks or other areas. Chain feed. Chain feed is the world-leading list providing solution from the vendor to the customer, where we have utilized blockchain technology in order to deliver the lists from Dow Jones in a real-time way, as well as removing the areas where it had some issues when it comes to manual updates of these lists, whether it's the manual intervention, whether it's the reliability of the connection, or whether it's the human side of forgetting to update the lists, downtime of the system, and other areas. With chain feed, the lists are provided every 1 hour. They are near real time when it's produced by Dow Jones up to when it reaches the customer. Plus, with the RTLL, or the real-time list loading feature that we have added within the system updates the lists without any hang times or downtime of the system. Looking at the next year's roadmap and where we're focusing for the moment. One of the major investments that we're looking at is adding AI within safe screening. At a first stage, we're going to look at false positive reduction, and then we will be looking at other areas when it comes to false positive, like you have seen within the FATF16. Also, we look at revamping or restructuring some of the existing capabilities of the system, as well as we look always at network expansions into adding more areas when it comes to the screening process. So for AI, we'll explain it exactly. One of the new features that we're looking at, and which is interesting to customers, is the detection encapsulation that I will be explaining in the roadmap itself. When it comes to network expansion, we're looking at cryptocurrency screening ability addition, which will be done with an agreement with a third-party vendor for blockchain analysis, and this will add the extra value for financial institutions or banks that are wishing to venture into the cryptocurrency dealing. Now, for the interesting stuff, which we're heavily investing at the moment across all of our products, which is artificial intelligence. The way we're looking at it from a safe screening perspective is a phased approach rather than a push of AI capabilities. Why we're looking at a phased approach? One, because when it comes to false positive reduction and the possibility of missing detections, we have a zero tolerance policy that we always look at. So we need to have a phased approach to look at the abilities of the AI to train the modules and to expand it gradually into replacing parts of the algorithms and parts of the engine, and to provide the extra ability towards handling detections and the reduction of false positives. For now, we are looking at adding a post-fact analysis tool, which will be the first element that we look at. Now, for this tool, or this AI capability, or the AI engine that we're going to add, it will be providing analysis over the detections that are being produced by the system, for which this AI engine will be providing the users with the possibility of the detections being a false positives or a true hit, aiding the users in taking their decision and reducing the time that they need to look at these detections, studying them and doing their investigations accordingly. The next step that we're looking at is the hybrid approach, where the AI itself actually influences the detections, giving the learning phase that it had with the phase 1 approach, and it will be pushing detections where they should be. The last stage B would be, as I mentioned, the AI-based screening, where we do combine the algorithms of the AI with the existing algorithms, so that we have an AI enabled system which reduces false positives, which gives a more accurate hits that the customers would see. As examples or the models that we are looking to integrate is the improving the data structuring within the inputs and the segmentation of the entries or inputs into the system. The recognition of the extra context or the added context, where the system learns that this is not a name, but is something else than the name, as well as having a risk score for each of these inputs within the screening process itself. Also, the matching capabilities that we will be looking at, where you have a change within the names or similar to what we call soundex at the moment, or variation of the names. And this can be achieved via training of this AI module over millions and millions of the names, so it will form its own algorithm and own structure of these names. Also, we will be adding the self-learning capabilities within the module, so it doesn't stop at a certain point of time, but it will automatically retrain itself in order to accommodate to changes within the compliance world and the changes within the architecture of these inputs within the system. Plus, one of the abilities that these modules will provide is the explainability of these changes and the way that the way that the structure and the way that the engine is providing these specific detections or outputs of the system. As a small example, where we look at a Swift message, and this Swift message contains the name Johnny McGregor against the watchlist entity Jenny McGregor. Now, when it comes to rule-based, the system will generate a hit at a 90%. Yet, when we look at the other specifics within the data that is available within the Swift message versus the ones that are available within the watchlist entity, you can see that one, the country itself is not the same. It's not mentioned within the Swift message. And you can note that within the Swift message itself, this is actually London that is within the United Kingdom, while in the watchlist entity, it is London, the street or the road, rather than London, the city in the UK. And this London street is within Australia. So the explainability and the way that the system will look at these specific inputs or entries from the Swift message and the watchlist entity and comparing them, it will look at certain areas where the name similarity, it's giving a 90%. The gender is not the same because Jenny is female, Johnny is a male, and this is not a match. It matches at 0%. The ethnicity match, the location match, and these are areas that the AI will look at. So accordingly, the decision of the AI will be no match, because the information that is available within the Swift message is not the same of the information available within the watch list entity, and accordingly, instead of the user having to do all of the investigation, the AI will be doing that. It will be providing this data, and by pushing the millions of information with the learning phase, the system will automatically learn from the previous decisions. It will give that enhancement when it comes to false positive reduction, as well as the accuracy of the detections, reducing false positives, accuracy, and the output that is going from the system, as well as reducing the need to have extra resources within the compliance investigation teams. So within phase one, we're looking at a post-fact analysis mechanism, the contextual matching, the self-learning, and the explainable results. Now, for phase one, it will be a standalone tool that is available as a side tool, let's say, and this will be connected with the system with an on-demand request. We will be adding specific columns within the detection manager that will provide the AI engine decision in order to ease the decision taking of the users. As a phase two, we will be adding the real-time analysis for the system. This will provide the risk scoring. This will help in with the journey when it comes to risk-based analysis, the RBA approach, and the utilization of this into future enhancements within the system. Also, for phase two, we're looking at the enhancing the context extraction from the inputs that the system is handling, and eventually we're looking at the holistic screening itself, where it will be enhancing the AI features and the learning curve to incorporate adverse media, others, where the system extracts this data, collects the data, and handles all of this information to make it a full capable AI solution within SafeWatch screening. Moving forward towards our roadmap and the features that we're gonna add or enhance within SafeWatch screening. One of the key modules that is currently under POC is the new and revamped archiving module. Because of the current file-based archiving module lacking in certain areas, whether it's the file size or its speed, this is one of the key elements that we want to revamp and close forever, having a new way of handling the archiving of detections with a totally and fully revamped module that gives these capabilities and reduces the strain from customers and from support or anyone who will be handling these. The new exciting feature will be the detection encapsulation. Now, the detection encapsulation is a new feature under the detection manager. This enables the encapsulation of detection under a customer card or a customer portfolio. So whenever you're doing a database screening, the system will be handling these names as customers. It will be tagging those customers. So you have a container or a bucket of detections under the same ID of this customer, which gives the ability to handle detections more efficiently, as well as extracting the data more efficiently, and having the ability to rescan certain customer on its own without going into the manual process of rescreening a specific customer. We're aiming to release this feature within Q1 as well as the archiving module, plus the AI capability as a phase one with the external tool, or the phase one of the AI modules, the advisory module that will be AI based and will be connected to SafeVault screening. For the next enhancements, we're looking at an addition of ability to import and extract the system configurations. Where this is important is whenever the customer is testing in the UAT, they will be having a set of configurations that will be to their liking and to their satisfaction. If they want to go into the live, or they want to add a set of environments, they will need to recreate that configuration and setup. And with this ability, you can simply just export it, take it, import it into the added or new environments, and they will be ready to go similar to the UAT that they have agreed on. Cryptocurrency support, as we mentioned, this is the blockchain analysis. Also, we're taking this into phases. As phase one, we're going to be giving the ability for the users to screen or check, similar as to the name checker, check specific wallets or specific cryptocurrencies. And this will be done with the agreement with a third-party blockchain analysis vendor. We are in the process of agreeing on the areas when it comes to having this partnership, and this will be one of the key elements that we're looking at, because cryptocurrency will be expanding and expanding, and as long as the regulators are looking at cryptocurrency, adding it to the under the regulations, gradually this will be key when it comes to exchange houses, banks, and others. As we do yearly, we're looking at the Swift syntax and the any changes that comes with the syntax or the SAADK, and this will be looked at within Q2 and Q3, depending on the release from Swift. For AI, it will continue because we're looking at the phased approach, plus we're looking at specific elements within the system. Retro replay, one of the key changes within the replay feature that is currently available. This will look at the most replayable detections, or the detection that has been actioned the most within the system. So within a new dedicated screen, you will be the system will be giving this information, and you can simply add that specific detection that has been actioned, for example, 50 or 100 times, and it will be added immediately into the replay cycle. So when this happens again, or this alert comes again, it will be actioned automatically by the system. Another enhancement that we're looking at is the database screening. because this is one of the key features that the customers or the users wishes to use in a more efficient way. So we're looking at adding extra areas within the module itself, as well as looking at the connectivity areas, so we can enhance it to be more reliable, to be more efficient within the process of screening itself. Of course, across the year itself, we always look at security areas in all of our products at Eastnets. So when it comes to safe word screening, we do screen our product on a regular basis, and the outcomes of these screening by our information security teams, we take them seriously, and this is why it is a continuous journey when it comes to security enhancements. We don't stop, we continuously do it, and we push any vulnerabilities that comes from this screening process and the testing that is done into safe word screening and all of Eastnet's products in order to close any gaps or any issues that might arise from a security perspective. With the released approval module that initially was provided towards good guys, because when we were looking at the areas where we can add a full list of approvers, where you can look at maker, checker, approver, and so on. Good guys were the most critical area where customers or users might use towards doing any embezzlement or any fraud within the institution. So with the good guys being released within the approval module, we will be expanding this capability towards other modules. The two other modules that will be under the approval module umbrella is the multi-level control over the lists, where any changes, upload, update, delete of the lists, it will be under this approval cycle, for which financial institutions can add maker, checker, approver up to whatever number of approvers that they wish. Plus, we're looking at the approval module, because the approval module can be utilized into adding extra capabilities to the users that they are not, that they shouldn't have as their specific roles. Last but not least is the definitive enhancement over the loading of the list itself. We're going to revamp the loader. We're going to enhance it for speed, capability, and change the current way that the system handles these lists. As we look at the market and our competitors, and where do we exceed, and where we're looking at elements that we lack but we are pushing towards. If you look at the table below, you can see that Eastnets exceeds all of our competitors in the features, yet we're lacking in AI, which we'll be pushing soon. If we look at our close competitors like LexisNexis's Faircosoft, they might have a certain specific AI, but it will not be in the same way that we are trying to push it. Plus, when we look at chain feed with the accompanying RTLL, no one within the globe or the market has this capability. They have similar elements. They might have similar elements that pushes their own lists, but when it comes to the system hangs or poses, we exceed in that. Plus, with the time and the push of the lists, this is a unique across the globe, plus utilization of blockchain technology is also unique. The other configuration module that we have mentioned is unique across all, because usually IT companies and vendors, they tend to release elements that are built within the system. For example, the schemas might be built within the system so that they containerize the way of customers handling them and the need towards the reliability over the vendor and the need of the customer over their software. So these are elements that we look at. Plus, if we look at the other vendors, though, for example, take Napier. If Napier is an AI-enabled company, they acquired the users of a specific vendor that is available out there, but they lack into the whole cycle of features that is provided by safe word screening, as well as other vendors that is within the market. So having these in mind, when we look at safe word screening and versus the competitors, one, safe word screening doesn't take years of implementation within the financial institution to go live. When it comes out of the box features, we exceed within our competitors. With the elements that we have pushed and we're pushing into false positive reduction, we will be hand in hand, if not exceeding those competitors, because we're looking at certain areas, we're looking at rigorously at pushing within the false positive reduction journey, so that we reach and exceed the levels that any competitor is thinking of. Plus, when it comes to other certain areas that we have within the system, like the FATF16 or the stripping detector, or the other areas within the system, our unique engine with its algorithm and the coming capabilities in the future when it comes to adding AI within that system, honestly, we exceed all of our competitors in the market, and this can be a push towards acquiring new customers and making our existing customers happier and happier as we move forward within these roadmap items and the enhancements that is coming within the system. Lastly, we as mentioned by Saeed, we have been a quadrant leader in 2022 in multiple areas, whether it comes to safe word screening, ML, and others. And this also provides a push, a positive push when it comes to acquiring new customers or having a replacement of our competitors within the backs. And this is actually the current status as we speak, because users of other vendors are moving from those vendors to Eastnets products because of their reliability, because of the features and capabilities that is available within the system. I have reached to the end of my presentation today. So Muhammad will be taking the questions.
Thank you so much, Ilyas, for this comprehensive session. I think we have a couple of questions. The first question from Tommy: does Java API support for safe word screening 5.0?
Yes, of course. Whatever you have in 4.0 is supported in 5.0.
So whatever setup that is available in the bank, it will be seamless integration to 5.0. So
Yes.
everything for you, Tommy, whatever setup, as we mentioned, it will be seamless. The components that you are speaking to, we are speaking to internally between our Java API and our, let's say, currently that we have the SW server and it has been changed. This is the part that has been changed from our side. So for the bank, nothing's changed. From Cindy, she's asking, screening for version 4 already has the ISO 222 module. Is there any difference in the 5.0 ISO 222 module?
It's the same, when looking at component specifics or configuration module, it's the same. But of course, as in 5.0, we're always enhancing development. So in future releases, you may see differences in the module, but in general, it's the same component, it's the same set of configuration. So if you have the configuration already created in 4.0, you'll still have it in 5.0 with no need to redo the configuration or to do any changes.
Okay, so mainly what we will be using the 5.0 ISO 222 module is mainly for new customers, saying that we already have an integration, the capability of configuring the ISO 222, which accepts different channels, not only the Swift. We can integrate it with multiple channels as well. We have the last question. To be honest, I was expecting more questions in the screening. Question from Nabila from our partner in Indonesia. Currently, name checker only screens the names as one field. In version 5, are we able to screen more than one field at a time, such as name, ID number, province, city, country, etc.?
This is one of the changes that will be coming to surface screening. The revamp of the name checker, we will be looking at changing the way that the screening itself, the areas within the name checker or the input areas in the name checker. So a revamp is coming for the name checker, which will have extra or extended capabilities within it, as well as extra elements within it. Now, any suggestions by our partners are welcome, because this will be work in progress, and any inputs or input areas we are welcomed, so that we can add them within that enhancement.
So it was a great question by Nabila, and whatever you have, as you know, last year we invited all our partners to participate in the product roadmap, and we will keep doing this from now on. So whatever suggestions that you have, please share it with us. For Cindy, I think we will take it offline, the comment that you mentioned about the ISO 222, which we will be discussing later on. Thank you so much, Lias. Thank you, Sameh. Thank you, Saeed. Thank you, everyone, for attending this. I believe we can have a quick break, a 5 minutes break, before we jump into our next session, which is the AML and the KYC. It will be an informative session, a lot of information, as the AML and KYC is revolving a lot, and it's one of our the areas that we are focusing on in the APAC region. So please take your coffee, and we will be back in 5 minutes. Yeah, hello everyone. I think most of the people are still attending the session, so we can maybe move on to our second agenda. Before that, we had in the chat box one question from Judy that I can answer maybe. The blockchain screening, is this already live in V5? As mentioned by the team, it will be available in the roadmap for this year with a partnership with a third party that works specifically on the blockchain and the cryptocurrency space. Our blockchain, the blockchain that we are using currently in the system is for the list loading, online list loading for the Dow Jones list, which is called the chain feed. So now we will move to our next item in the agenda, which is the AML and the screening solution. This will be presented by our principal product manager for AML and KYC, Ms. Rasha. So please, whatever questions again that you have, put all your questions and we will attend to it after the session ends. Rasha, please proceed.
Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending this session. I hope this will be beneficial and will give you some insights on our strategy on AML and KYC for the coming year. I wish to see a lot of interaction with you on the chat box. So before going into 2023, I would like to highlight on the or to emphasize on the main highlights in 2022. We started working on customers monitoring for PSPs. It will be released in Q1 2023. We thought that this is a new vertical that we need to target, because as you know, currently the market is a bit saturated in terms of providing such service to the banks. So we are now looking for other verticals like PSPs, MSBs, insurance companies. And for this to happen, we needed to add a new layer, which is mainly the customers of the customers, like the customers of the merchant. I will come to it when we discuss the roadmap. The second one, which is mainly related to the KYC, now we have a fully automated workflow. You can start the onboarding from A to Z without any human intervention. And what helped in this is releasing the new rule builder module, where you can build and customize rules to be added to the KYC form and to generate notifications. As mentioned in the first point, that we are now targeting a new verticals. Currently, we have a new product. It's not totally new. It's a combination of SafeWatch, AML, KYC, and SafeWatch screening. But we have put them all under one solution. We call it Connect and Comply, and it is mainly targeting the insurance companies, where we have enhanced the UI and the labels to be using the terminology of the insurance companies. We have also added a lot of features related to AI in order to have not only rule-based solution, but also an AI-based alerts resolution. For the KYC, we since 2014 we are offering the face-to-face onboarding, but now with the integration with Jumio, we have a digital onboarding capability, and this would be very helpful, especially for the insurance markets who are focusing on the digital onboarding. And we have initiated the first step towards a complete case manager by having the seamless integration between AML, KYC, and SafeWatch screening, where the user can resolve even the alerts generated on the SafeWatch screening from the AML itself. Okay, so for the transactions monitoring and KYC AI models that we have it now, they are released, they are there. The first one is the suspicious account model. In this one, we are checking how a certain account differs from any other account in the bank. And then we have the customer monitoring. We are checking each customer, how his behavior is changing, where's the deviation is happening in the customer monitoring. So for the suspicious account model, we're checking the account against all other accounts in the bank. For the customer, we're checking the change of behavior of each customer. And then one of the most important models that we have incorporated and released is the customer segmentation, where we check and group the customers who behave similarly. And the customer segmentation is not used separately and isolated from all other modules. No, we use it for the threshold calibration. So we suggest the segments, the clusters that we need to create, along with the suggested threshold to be added to each of the segments that were created and released in the from the segmentation model. So these are interconnected together, the customer segmentation and the threshold calibration. So I would say we have to get a new segment of customers. It's called customers who have done X amount or average spend within 60 days. Okay, and the threshold that should be linked to this segment is 60,000. So imagine how much we can reduce the false positives from this. On the KYC, just a second. On the KYC part, because we are capturing the information of the UBOs and the corporates and the shareholders, the controlling persons, we have started, but not yet fully released. We have started to have the organization structure showing the direct shares, the indirect shares between a certain customer and others, but we will be adding a layer of natural language processing for entity resolution and checking duplicate KYCs across all the bank. I'll be talking more about the integration with BBD during the following slides. Okay, so what's our strategy for AML and KYC in 2023? As mentioned, we're gonna target new market segments, and I think this will open a lot of opportunities at your side to target PSPs, to target MSPs, to target insurance companies. So imagine how many opportunities we can have and start working on that. We can have later on one-to-one sessions to give you my experience with the current implementations that we have. Now we have two live customers. One insurance customers, one in Malaysia, which is Takaful, Malaysia, and another insurance company in Abu Dhabi, UAE. It's called Adnec. We have another live customer, PSP customer in Iraq. So we can have further discussions about that. And then we have the holistic AI and machine learning capabilities. As mentioned in the previous slide, segmentation, threshold calibration, advanced investigator tools. And advanced investigator tool, it's a very powerful tool. It is a link analysis tool. It can show you the accounts and the customers in the bank from a different view. It's assigning a risk scoring for each account in the bank, not related to the risk score that we calculate based on the defined factors and categories, but rather we are giving each account a risk score based on the matched parameters that we have defined in the models. It can show you the flow of transactions between your accounts and other counter parties, and it will open an eye to hidden relationships that were not clear in the tables. Okay, and then we are also moving the solution to another level of configurability, and I always focus on this point as I see it as a powerful point and as a competitive advantage for Eastnets. among all the compliance managers and MLROs that I have seen, they are always saying that we have a very flexible, configurable solution. It's very user-friendly. In most of the cases, it doesn't require technical knowledge for them to use and to adapt their scenarios. Why? Because the regulations, they are changing constantly. And they need to have a flexible solution so that they can adapt to the changing of the regulations. So as part of this changing in the configurability, we're going to have dynamic aggregation of transactions on the fly, saying that during the aggregation, I can build rules to exclude transactions going through internal transfers. Currently, we have only 4 hard-coded dynamic risk score levels: low, medium, high, extremely high. But from from the projects that we have been working on, we noticed that that they need more flexible risk scoring levels. And then we will also be enhancing the KYC by adding the group manager, documentation management, and risk score archiving. I'll be going over them during the roadmap. So, sorry, I missed one slide. Yes. So we will also be working more on the cross-products integration, cross Eastnets actually products integration. For example, we have the integration with the SafeWatch screening currently with the AML offline, but not with the AML online. We will also be introducing the integration of AML online with payment safe for the transactions formatting, and with the SafeWatch screening for screening the transactions in real time. We will have a seamless sync between KYC and AML offline in a way that if KYC form was created and a customer was onboarded, there is no need in the next day to reload their information in the data files. I'll be talking about BVD integration. I'm not sure if you are already aware. We have completed in 2022 the integration with Bureau van Dijk, Moody's Analytics. It's a data provider company. They provide information about more than 400 million entities all over the world, and those entities are mainly corporates, shareholders, directors, controlling persons. And now we can, with this integration, we can hold all this information about shareholders, their shares, immediately and automatically in our customer card under the corporate shareholders and legal representatives. So imagine how powerful and how centralized our customer card would be. I'll have the information about the corporates, their shareholders, the controlling persons, the percentage of shares, because as per the regulations, anyone who has shares more than 25%, they are considered to be a controlling person. We can assess the risk, and this risk will be escalated to the risk of the corporate customer who is a customer in the bank. So this is a very powerful tool, and now we're working with one of the banks in the UK who are willing to have this kind of integration. Notifications on the changes of the core banking and the back office. What else? We will be checking also how we can benefit from the correspondent banking data, whether that can be provided by the payment safe or from other data providers like GPI and other tools. And then we have also released a dynamic BI and a very powerful dashboard, a new dashboard. It will be a licensed feature. It is a licensed feature because it's already released as part of 2.5. It is a licensed feature. It's providing a lot of insights and analytics. Okay, but we are going to take this one step forward by providing a self-service dashboard where the users, they can build their own dashboard. It has been demanded by so many customers, so it will be part of our 2023 strategy. We will be also releasing workflow visualization, the investigation workflow, the full workflow from the beginning of the investigation till end. We will be providing it in a visual representation showing who worked on which step during the detection investigation, how much time it took a certain investigator to work on a certain step in minutes, in hours. So imagine how helpful this would be to determine the KPIs and the efficiency of the employees working on the investigation. We started working with BVD on the integration with the dashboard, with the shareholders, and now we're continuing to integrate other information like directors. And as in any roadmap that we release, we always enrich our money laundering library, typologies library, by adding more rules from the every regulation that is released by FATF and other regulatory bodies. Okay, so talking about the artificial intelligence 2023 roadmap, in the all the features that I talked about, like a suspicious account, anomaly transaction, segmentation, threshold calibration, all of this, we have done it as part of what we call the holistic AI-based solution, and it is already delivered and it's ready to pilot. And this is also one of the things we will be working on during the coming month with FBN Bank in the UK. We have been also working on other capabilities like AI-enhanced rules to simplify the segmentation, to add more explainability actually on the segmentation. For the visual part, we will be enhancing the UI UX and the explainability. Now we have the features of the AI a bit scattered. So we have here the segmentation, other places we have the investigator tool, but we will be working on grouping all these capabilities in one centralized place, and also adding better and more accurate results to be accessed from one place. We'll be also enhancing the AI risk scoring. These are still in progress. And then we have the AI decision replay. Maybe we have a bit enhanced this, the naming of this capability. We didn't start working on it yet, but you will see it in the roadmap as decision recommendation, detection decision recommendation, because we're not going to add any kind of replay. There is no replay, but we will give a recommendation for the users like 70%. We recommend that this detection to be closed as real detection, and the percentage is 70%, 80%. And this will be done based on historical information, historical detections, how it was closed previously by certain investigators or on certain customers. This is extremely important, and I can see that it will add a lot of value for our detection investigation. And then we will be adding more statistical models, and we can AI-driven detection, because as you know, now we have this rule-based, so now we will be suggesting more scenarios based on the data that we have. Okay, you don't have this kind of behavior, you're not monitoring this behavior, so we will be suggesting more typologies as well. Cross-product analysis, this will be done by checking by analyzing the capabilities that we also have on say Payment Guard and on SafeWatch screening, and ultimately we will be also checking the data on the crypto media on the dark web. So, starting with the product roadmap on the AML offline, I might have already covered some of them, but let's go quickly. So we have the customer monitoring. As you know, now we have only 2 levels of monitoring. We have the customers and their accounts, but we will add a 3rd level if I would give you an easy example, we can monitor the merchant, so he can be the customer of the bank, and then he has accounts, but also we can monitor the transactions being done by the customers under that merchant. So we'll be monitoring also the transactions of the customers of our customers. We talked about the detection, workflow visualization, and how important it is to show the efficiency of the employees. And this can be extracted, and it can be attached and sent in a report. We will also give the users the ability to define customer counterparty combinations. So I would say this customer can only deal with this list of counterparties. This list of counterparties are whitelisted for this specific customer. If he deals with any other counterparties, then this will be considered as a suspicious transaction. This is extremely important, and we have created it in response to some of the regulation, mainly on the monitoring of transactions in real time. And then we have the BBD integration phase 2 to integrate the information of UBO's directors and loans monitoring. Now, in the current situation of AML, we can monitor the loans normally, but we used to work on it in using workarounds. But we're seeing that there's a demand on monitoring the loans, so we thought, no, we can provide the more configurable and customizable scenarios. We can build specific tables in the application to hold the information of the loans rather than using the existing tables in a workaround. And then we talked also about the decision recommendation functionality. For the SafeWatch screening integration, this is very important, and I need to focus on it. As you know, since like years, we have integration between AML offline and the SafeWatch screening. If I'm investigating a customer in SafeWatch AML, I can screen the name of that corporate or their shareholders or the name of the customer themselves against SafeWatch screening. But we needed to have a user accessing the SafeWatch screening to resolve this alert. Okay, and then we get the result back in the AML solution. But currently, we are giving the this is already released. What I'm explaining, we are giving the users the ability to resolve or to treat the alert that was generated on SafeWatch screening, the hit on any of the lists, directly from the AML solution. So from the AML solution, I don't need to open the SafeWatch screening. I can see the alert. I can close it as real violation or false positive. And all this can be immediately injected into the risk scoring, into the reports, into the scenarios, so to complete the full cycle. And this was done mainly to complete the full cycle for the insurance companies in Connect and Comply, starting from the KYC, screening the names, treating the detections, the screening alerts, and then working on the transactions, suspicious transaction in the AML. All of this from one screen. The enhancements that we are planning to do on the SafeWatch screening is to, currently we can only screen against one list set for all types of customers, but we thought, no, this can be enhanced to allow more flexibility. For example, for individual customers, I want to screen their names against list X1 and 2, for corporates against different lists. And for the AI new models, I think we covered this on the roadmap of the AI. We will be also adding more enhancements on the technical and data loading part, and the requirements or the user stories for such features. The main resource for such enhancements were our professional services team who deal with the customer directly on this aspect. So I urge you as a partner, and because you also do such tasks in installation and data loading, please, we have our AHA portal, which is open to add any idea, any suggestion, any feature, any thing you feel that it can be enhanced on any product, you should have access to this AHA portal. You can insert your suggestion, and this will always be taken into consideration in our next roadmaps as an answer for your as a response actually to your suggestions and enhancements. And then, as in any and in every module, we do enhancements, continuous enhancements on the existing modules, customer cards, detections, etc. In Q3, we're planning to focus more on the cryptocurrency monitoring. When we started investigating the cryptocurrency monitoring, transactions monitoring, we faced a very big blocking issue actually, which is that the transactions on the blockchain, they are not flat, they are not clear for us, they are not in the format that we can use as the normal transactions we are getting for the fiat currency. So that's why we need to have in the middle a blockchain analysis tool. And now we are talking with one of the vendors for blockchain analysis, TRM. They will be in between the blockchain and our solution, just to translate these cryptocurrency transactions in a format that we can analyze and check the suspicious behaviors and typologies. And also we will be releasing the self-service dashboard. And for the STR report submission, you know that our solution is capable of generating the STR, but the process is stopped here. We cannot integrate with any of the FIUs for an automatic submission. And we have got from several RFPs that they need to have a full cycle that we can connect to the FIU and submit the SCR is generated automatically to that FIU. So we're considering this in our 2023 roadmap. Moreover, we talked about the entity, no, we didn't talk about the entity resolution. I mean, on the KYC, it's here, and on the KYC, we will be adding also some AI capabilities to check the different customers, with different customer, I mean, records we have in our application, but eventually they are for the same customer. We'll be using NLP, we'll be using image processing in order to make sure that we have clearly identified different entities pertaining to the same customer. Dynamic risk score scale to identify as many levels as you wish, low and high, low, medium, high, etc. And then we have transaction aggregation on the fly, usability enhancements, and as usual, we're always enriching our standard library of reports. For the AML online, we're getting more and more requests for the AML online because the banks, they are getting a lot of pressure from the regulators, so they want to be on the safe side. They want to be more proactive rather than reactive. So that's why we can offer them the AML online, where we can stop the transaction before being executed if it matches any of the money laundering typologies. We'll be enriching new AML rules. We've been working with one of our customers in Malta. They helped us a lot because there are a lot of regulations regarding the real-time money laundering monitoring, specifically in Malta. So they helped us a lot to enrich our roadmap with a lot of capabilities and the new rules, mainly about the customer counterparty whitelist and black listed. Customer monitoring capability, it will be on the AML offline and in the AML online. We're trying always to sync the capabilities and features between offline and online to be on the same track. Okay, we currently don't have any business intelligence on the AML online. We don't have any dashboard, so this is a very important feature we will be adding as well. On the AI capabilities for the AML online, currently we have released only one model on the AML online, which is called anomaly transaction in real time. The system will be flagging any transaction that is considered as an anomaly across the behavior of the customer immediately in real time. But we will be working on other models on optimizing the current model that we have and to introduce better visualization. I think we have lack of reports in the standard library for the AML online, so we will be working also on that. Regarding the cross products integration, we will concentrate end of year on the integration with SafeWatch screening and on integration with payment safe. As you know, in the AML online, the customer needs to provide us with a unified format for all transactions. So it's part of their job. But we thought, okay, we can use the universal translator in the payment safe to map the any transaction coming from SWIFT, from the card system, from any data, from any transaction source. We can use the payment safe as a middleware to do this unification of the format, and this will help us to cross-sell our payment safe product as well. And then moving forward to the KYC, and the KYC, it has evolved a lot since 2014. I think now we can say that we have a very powerful KYC for physical face-to-face onboarding. In addition to the digital onboarding, we have completed the partnership with Jumio, which is one of the major vendors for digital onboarding. They will be providing us with the capabilities that are out of scope of Eastnets business, like biometrics check, video conferencing, documents authentication, the OCR capability to extract the information from the IDs and passport and mapping them to our KYC. We will add new capabilities on the KYC, mainly around the group manager. Currently, we don't have the same group manager module that we have in AML to create groups and apply scenarios and rules on these groups. We will introduce it also on the SafeWatch KYC. It will be very helpful for us since we now have a rule builder in the KYC. It will be very helpful for us in the rule builder, in the workflow, in the risk definition, and all these features. The KYC as well is integrated also with the BVD, with Moody's Analytics. So whatever we will enhance on this aspect on the AML will also reflect it on the KYC. Another important part, which is around the documentation management, where we will be generating like automatic notification whenever we have an expired document, and playing around the what is mandatory, what is optional, based on the customer type. So if we are working on a corporate customer, we can enforce that the commercial registry, the shareholders information, documents, all of this would be mandatory for this kind of KYC customers. And then the same KYC ML offline sync, I think I mentioned this. So whenever we have onboarded a KYC customer, it will be automatically synced and moved to the AML offline without the need to next day to load the information of that customer. And then because the regulators are putting more pressure on the banks and the financial institutions to keep the risk history on the KYC and on the AML, and currently we can keep only up to 150 risk scores, so it's not enough for banks. So now we can provide a very powerful capability. It's already released on the AML on the new version, but on the KYC we're currently working, we will be working on it actually, to archive the risk score over years. So you can see what was the risk score for that customer before 3 years, and what were the risk factors that were matched, and all the details related to the risk score calculation. Also, we will be working on the cryptocurrency monitoring for the BASAPs and the exchanges to do the due diligence for their customers. AI and machine learning will be around image processing, natural language processing, and here we have also in the next quarter is the entity resolution, but it's all really under the umbrella of the AI. We will also be providing a self-service dashboard. We have released already a business a new dashboard, a new intelligent actually dashboard using Jasper Soft. And the dynamic, we will be also adding the dynamic risk scoring. You can see that there are a lot of common features between AML and KYC because we need to be aligned, okay? And as part of any KYC system, you need to have a proper reviews management. Each KYC, when would they expire? When is the next review? Who did that review? Everything, and all of this should be automated. In terms of adding attachments, currently any user can add attachment to the KYC manually, but since we have the integration with the KYC through APIs, we will also be enabling the users to import the attachments via APIs. Entity resolution, we talked about it, and the usability enhancement will also be it will take a big chunk of KYC in order to enhance the user experience, to automatically fill certain fields based on certain conditions. Okay, what are the main differentiators or the key differentiators of our AML and KYC solution? As we said, now we have a great customer base. In terms of a number of customers we have, we are more than 70 customers now. And the other thing is that they are across different market segments, banks, telecom, like in Singapore, we have Singtel, we have insurance companies using the Connect and Comply. We have in the banks themselves, we have central banks, we have Central Bank of the UAE. We're working now with another prospect in the Gulf and the central bank. We have corporate banking, we have private banks, retail banks. So all of this can be a good selling point for us, or for actually approaching the financial institutions. Not so many competitors who provide offline capabilities, they also have real-time capabilities. So you can see that we have both modes, online and offline, under one solution. We have a 360 solution integrating the full customer journey, starting from the KYC to AML online and offline and SafeWatch screening. We have rule and risk-based solution complemented with the AI capabilities. We have also a powerful standard model library, which we use when we approach customers who are not aware of what rules and capability of requirements they need to apply. So we help them. The models, the rules library, it is always our starting point for the discussion with the compliance teams. We have both cloud and on-premise solutions. Okay, most of the vendors, they are on cloud. And as I said, with the BVD and Moody's Analytics, we have rich information about UBOs, shareholders. We have we're offering face-to-face and digital onboarding capabilities in our KYC, multi-language support, cost-effective solution. And then talking about the chartist Reg-tech analysis, you can see for the transactions monitoring, we are here in the category leaders, and this is a great achievement for Eastnets to be in the category leaders in the transactions monitoring. And we can use this actually as also when we approach customers to justify why they can rely on Eastnets solutions. For the analytics, we're still here in the point solutions, but I can see that we can move quickly with the capabilities that we are offering now on our 2023 roadmap. What we're missing compared to other competitors, we're missing the ECM, the enterprise case management, the unified case management across AML, KYC, safe watch, screening, payment card, and maybe the payment safe. We still don't have, I can't say we have 100% mature AI models, so we need to put more effort in that. And the self-service dashboard and reporting, which I see it's important to have to compete with other strong competitors. And this is all from my side. Thank you so much for listening. And let's see if we have any questions in the chat box.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rasha, for this comprehensive. I just want to share with everyone, as you can see, a lot of work has been done on AML and KYC, especially with the latest integrations that we have. Now, all our customers can benefit from an end-to-end solution for the AML, covering the onboarding throughout screening and transaction monitoring, which is a very competitive advantage that we have in the market. Few of our competitors have it. You can see big competitors in screening, they don't have AML, or in AML, they don't have screening, but we have something built on, which is a market leader or a technology leader or category leader across all platforms that we have, which is something very competitive, and we are looking forward to benefit from that. We succeeded. Unfortunately, we didn't have much references in the AML and KYC space, but during the last year, we succeeded to win some deals on that. So we want to enhance our position in APAC for this, because we believe that we have a very strong set of products that we can penetrate the market. And believe me, it's a very high value for money that they will be paying as compared to big competitors. But trust me, it's way much less in price. We are competing in price with medium and small companies, but in terms of technology and features, we are competing with the biggest companies in the market. Thank you, Rasha and the team, for all the effort that has been put in this product. So let us go through the questions that we have. We start with 1 second. Let me go from the start. Yeah, for Ahmed. Ahmed is asking about our preference in KL, whether it's on-prem or cloud. I can answer that. Currently, our client in Malaysia, they are using our both our AML and KYC solution as well. We didn't mention that because in screening we have multiple references in the market. With one of our integrations with third parties to provide an eKYC, so they have a full cycle of AML. They are covering from onboarding, digital onboarding, and manual onboarding through transaction screening and monitoring, and of course ongoing monitoring for their customers. Another question by Ahmed: is it possible that the client can create their own format in terms of reports, like XLS, CSV, XML, etc.? Does the application provide tools that the user can use to create their own report?
Okay, the answer is if we are using the standard reports in terms of the format, the standard reports in the standard reports library, yes, we have different formats: XLS, PDF, XML, Word document, etc. Creation of a report from scratch, this is part of the self-service dashboard capability that we are having on 2023, but still You can also benefit from the search criteria that we offer in all of the modules across the product. You can build your own search criteria, okay? And then you submit the search, you will have a list of results. You can export them into Excel and PDF. So I believe this is a very powerful reporting tool that where you can customize whatever report you wish based on the search criteria that you have on that module.
Thank you, Rasha. Another question from Judy: integration of UBO, ultimate beneficial ownership. This will be from a third party or must be by the bank to provide such data?
Currently, we have both options. If the bank they have such information of UBOs and their information, they can be easily migrated into our solution via the APIs or the data files. If they don't have this information and they want to rely on a third party or an external source, now we have the partnership with Bureau van Dijk, with Moody's Analytics, who can provide such information.
Thank you. Another question for transaction fraud detection, Nabila. This will be covered by the next presentation that we have. But in terms of if you are asking about the non-SWIFT transactions from AML perspective, in AML we can cover all transactions, whether it's from SWIFT, any other channel, because at the end we will be collecting the information from the back office, regardless of the channel, because it will be directly taken from the core banking or the back office database. So they will list down the transactions and they will say or identify each one, whether it's from SWIFT or from a specific channel. But regarding the fraud, it will be deeply discussed after this session. Also from Aji, some AML functions that the bank needs begins from screening, monitoring, reporting, and more. My question: why do we need to use different applications for AML offline screening, KYC, and which resulting in a higher price, and it is possible to use database open source? Okay, this is a big topic, to be honest. But at the end, we have regulations, and the bank cannot avoid having to miss screening their customers' names, because they will be penalties on them, especially if there was any customer that they did transaction and it's blacklisted. So it's total red flag. Other than that, they need some transaction monitoring tool, whether it's online or offline, to uncover suspicious transactions. Because also, if the bank ended up passing transactions that happen to be part, it will be there will be huge penalties. They need to submit their reports to the regulators to say that I have a suspicious transaction. So it's not about price. Trust me, the price that you are charging your customers, it's peanuts compared to penalties that they will be facing. Some of the banks globally, they were paying billions, not millions, billions of US dollars for regulators because of some money laundering or terrorist financing activities that happened within the bank. Please, Rasha or Said, if you have any additional information about this.
I just want to, because I'm not sure, I'm a bit conscious of time. So I was thinking to direct the team, the partners team. We have in the sales presentation for all the products, we have challenges slide. In the challenges slide, you can see why would a bank or a financial institution require that solution. So it will summarize all what Muhammad has mentioned regarding the compliance cost, the efficiency, the penalties, even the reputation risk of the bank if they were penalized. So I appreciate if you have a look at that sales presentation. It will be very helpful for you.
Yeah, I just want to add a further point with regards to regulatory enforcement actions. And we know that the regulators in the APAC region are actually at the forefront with regards to putting sanctions out there with breaches, whether it's around AML transaction monitoring or on watch list screening. And one of the key regulatory changes that we have seen is that it's not just the company itself which is exposed to risk with regards to fines, but actually senior managers. So there's senior manager regimes that have come into play in markets such as Singapore and Hong Kong, where designated senior managers are actually held personally accountable for shortfalls within their compliance controls. And we have seen in a number of markets, and there's a significant case, the largest case in the UK, for example, from the FCA, and many of the regulators do share this intelligence, was against NatWest Bank, which was fined over £250 million sterling. But critically, this was the first criminal sanctions against senior officials within the organization for not being able to have adequate systems and controls in place in AML. So when you talk about the commercial value proposition that we make here around the licensing of our product, really, as Mohammed has stated, that is a false economy for banks to think that they are paying heavily when they're investing in solutions. In fact, it not only protects them, but it's the individuals at a senior level. And I would encourage you to identify those designated senior managers within the organization who are really exposed to this. And it goes beyond the traditional MLROs. It is the chief executive, it's the COO, it's the chief risk officer. All of these individuals are accountable for making decisions around investment for their compliance controls, including AML.
Thank you, Said. Speaking about regulators, one of the questions here, do you see regulators moving towards real-time AML transaction monitoring, or it's only something by the banks themselves?
Yes, it's a great question. Oh, sorry. Do you want me to take that, Rasha? And you know, on this, absolutely, we see regulators have made strong pronouncements that actually the dynamics of the market is such where financial criminals are doing activities in such levels of complexity that it's really important with the changes that we're seeing out there to have actually moving towards a real-time solution. And this is where really the benefit of also AI comes into it, because human intelligence alone is not really sufficient enough to identify detections and breaches in real-time mode. To have AI-driven real-time solutions then really comes into play, and being able to intercept the issues and before it proliferates, that not only saves you money and protects the firm, but it shows that you're taking a very proactive approach. So I'm going to hand over to Rasha, who may have a statement to make there as well.
No, I just wanted to confirm, thank you, Said, that in Malta in specific, now the regulator is mandating the real-time monitoring for transactions from AML perspective, and we're now talking to a second prospect on the AML online.
Yes, and in fact, one of the strengths of Eastnet's product portfolio is that all of our compliance risk products are designed from an architecture perspective to be real-time, whether it's sanction screening, AML transaction monitoring, to fraud prevention and detection. These are all real-time solutions. And when we are talking to prospects, customers, we should always make them aware of the capabilities that we have here. And it does require a change within business processes within the firms. It's quite a big change if you're going from a daily end-of-day process to real-time mode. It's a huge investment on their side, but we have the technology that will actually assist them to make that those operational changes efficient.
Thank you, Saeed. This is something that I wanted to highlight as well. We have 2 more questions. I think we can take quickly. Talking about the STR submission with FIU, which is part of this year's roadmap. Comparing it to the GoAML. Now, we know that GoAML is a global it's a global requirement. So now, what will be that we can have and the STR submission with the FIU, or it's the same?
Your voice has cut during the question. What would be what exactly? I heard the first part, but then when you started the question,
the difference between the sorry, I think I'm having poor connection. The difference between the STR submission with FIU and is it the same as GoML or it's a different module?
Yeah, it's the same, but it differs based on the jurisdiction. In certain jurisdictions, the banks are obliged to submit the STRs, the SARs, the AIF, and other regulatory reports through the GoML platform. For other countries, no, they have direct connectivity with the FIU to submit the STR and SAR. So it depends on the jurisdiction and the regulation. For example, Jordan, the Netherlands, Egypt, UAE, all of these countries now, they should submit the STRs and other regulatory reports through the GoML platform. So GoML and STR, they are the same. Under the GoML, you can find all the regulatory reports that you should submit. So it depends on the regulation and the jurisdiction. Hamad?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think we're done with the questions. Any questions will be taking offline. Thank you so much, Rasha and Saeed, of course, for this informative session. We were able to share all the information and details that we are planning to have in the coming year. Of course, we will be taking it with interested partners offline for more details about our products. We are already sessions with all our partners on all our products. Very concentrated sessions. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you all. Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you, Saeed.
Thank you. Now, for everyone, we will be moving to our next item in this agenda, which is the payment guard that will be held by Atallah Nejme, the product manager for our fraud prevention solution. Atallah, it's all for you.
Thank you, Muhammad, and good day, everyone. Thank you for attending our session today. As mentioned by Muhammad, I will be walking you through the major updates for our product payment guard, the anti-fraud solution, as well as the roadmap elements for this year, 2023, including some trends and updates for the regulations for fraud in terms of transaction monitoring, fraud transaction monitoring. So just to kickstart things, we will be discussing a few updates that are coming from regulators that have been seen throughout the year 2022, as well as the emerging trends in terms of fraud and the digital channels. Starting by the trend, the regulation updates and the mandates that are coming from regulators generally, there have been, I would say, an increased attention from regulators in terms of fraud, the policies and procedures that are being executed at the financial institutions generally, and there are some requirements that have been exclusively, not exclusively, I would say, but generally enforced by the regulators to be applied in terms of the policies, procedures that are being executed. Those example of those would be the PSD2 updates for the EBA, some central banks updates as SAMA in KSA, Philippines, where the regulators are really pushing to have a certain level of effectiveness when it comes to combating the fraud against the channels like digital channels or other channels. Some of the regulation extends to cover other aspects of fraud that does not relate to direct payment fraud, I would say. When it comes to the trends that have been seen throughout the past year and post the pandemic, there have been an increased, I would say, a number of trends that are being picked up by the fraudsters. The usage of automated softwares, bots, to expand the attack volume, as well as the ability to acquire more information, in certain cases synthesizing the information to execute certain types of fraud, like the identity fraud with synthetic IDs, and that will result in a more complex multi-layered attack that will increase also the losses that might be caused by fraud. In terms of digital channels, it continues to be the #1 concern for all the regulators, all the financial institutions post the pandemic and throughout the 2022, with the increased usage by fraudsters for social engineering, personal information, identifiable information harvesting, app authorized push payments, email interceptions, so on and so forth. So digital channels are one of the, I would say, highest concerns when it comes to fraud, and the highest numbers of cases that are being reported comes specifically for the digital channels. So those were just some updates about the trends, the regulations that have been noticed and dealt with during 2022. On another front, the key updates for our product Payment Guard for year 2022. First, start with the addition of the advanced rule builder. This item will be extremely beneficial whenever we are trying to build certain rules that will require a more of a complex logic comparing to the rule builder that existed before this particular update, which was released under version 2.4. And this will enable basically the financial institution to build their own custom script using Anvil language and to dig deeper even into the details of the transaction, building more of a complex rules. The next item is the scenario testing, and this is particularly helpful whenever the financial institutions tries to gain some visibility over the effect of a certain scenario before it is being pushed into production as a live scenario. This will allow the institution or the Payment Guard users to stream data from historic data, save the Payment Guard, and to replay it against the scenario. And then it will show some statistics about the performance of the scenario, effectiveness, efficiency, so on and so forth. And that will enable the tuning of this particular scenario being defined during the configuration phase before it's being enabled as a live scenario. Customers account and transactions viewer, and this is a new module that were added to Payment Guard, which enables the access to the customer information and their transactions. This is particularly useful whenever the institution is trying to review data that relates to the customer static data. As you know, static data is being used currently for the link analysis feature, and this will help much during the investigation process. Now we provide access with this particular new module to the static data, and next we will be even, as you will see on the roadmap, there will be items that will expand the usage of this data within the link analysis feature. Other enhancements that relates to the modeling library first. So we have added number of models to our library. The library is on continuous development, and for last year we have added several models to this library that will fulfill certain requirements. We have also worked on the engine performance. Certain enhancements were pushed to increase the TPS of the evaluation for our engine. In addition to that, there were also a new module that will track the transactions that are being processed from Swift channel, and this will be particularly helpful to ensure that whatever happens during the evaluation process, we can track it, and if there is a problem evaluating certain transaction, we can get an alert for that, we can track the transaction, we can take action outside of the regular process, and that will ensure that no interruption to the channel will ever be caused by the controls that we are executing on payment card. And finally, we have the workflow enhancement, where we have added case reactivation and other couple of items that relates to the definition of the interception and exit points for the detections. So those are the major updates and highlights from year 2022. Those are items that were already published within our latest release 2.4 and can be and is ready to be deployed for any new project. Just as a recap of the models and mechanisms that we use in Payment Guard in terms of AI models. First, we start with the anomaly transaction. So anomaly transaction, this is one of the most important models that we provide, and this will work on the features of the transactions. It trains itself over the data, the predefined features, and this can be customizable. So different channels can implement different set of features for the to be training the model over. Further, we have the forecasting models, and those are still in the preliminary stage, I would say. And the aim of those type of models is to be able to forecast what will be the case in the near future, or like, for example, the volume of transacting with a certain correspondent or a certain currency, a certain business line, so on and so forth. So this will be extremely helpful to further enable the self-adaptation of the models and how it executes the controls utilizing a threshold that have been calculated throughout the past data, and be able to forecast what would be the case and what would be the normal range of expansion for the future, shrinking or expansion, both ways. User monitoring, and again, those are models that will monitor the behavior of the user. Example of that would be what would be the normal actions, what would be the normal user working hours, so on and so forth. And this is part of the major requirements that are being requested by Swift in terms of the CSP 2.9. Aggregated behaviors monitoring, and those are a combination of statistical models, aggregation-based models, as well as the machine learning models. And in those kind of models, we are trying to be combining several aspects and several transactions over a period of time to come up with a certain behavior that can be considered suspicious. And accordingly, those models are continuously profiling data, continuously accessing the history, the short-term history of the certain client being monitored, and according to the aggregated behavior and the scenario that are defined, we can intercept the suspicious transaction and be able to action against. And finally, we have the action sequence monitoring, which is something that that is coming on our roadmap, and that will also be a part of part of the behavior analysis, where, for example, certain process will require certain sequences of actions, and this will require the profiling of the sequences, profiling of the actions, and to be able to detect anomalies in the sequences. A simple stage that only fits for Swift is already implemented, so this will tackle the the problem here from certain angle and be able to detect things like activating and not activating, I would say something like creation and authorization from same user or same workstation. So action sequencing here can break. So this is just an example, but this is also still in an early stage of development, and we'll have further updates during this year. When it comes to our strategy for 2023, we are focusing on main 5 areas, as we can see in this particular set of bullet points. First, the data analytics and standardization, which is extremely important whenever we are trying to push for models that will learn from data, machine learning models, statistical models. So standardization of data, being able to combine data from different sources in a standard way and be able to analyze this data is the key element of success here in our game. The integration, we are stressing on integration. We have a couple of items for this year, but the integration capability is one of the extremely important points that will enable the execution of real-time transaction monitoring, fraud transaction monitoring, and that is also emphasized whenever we are dealing with AI capabilities, data streaming towards the models that we are providing, how we train the models, what background processes should be executed, what is the depth of intervention from our customers that will be required to execute the models. Those are things that we also will be focusing on, in addition to the modeling library expansion, which I already mentioned that this is on continuous expansion. For every quarter, we have several additions to our modeling library, enabling new capabilities. For example, when we supported the PSD2 requirements, we added certain number of models. Currently, we are working on other regulation requirements. There will be also an additional set of models that will be added as a response. So the continuous evolution of this library is extremely important to keep up to date with the market requirements and the market trends. And finally, we have the scalability, which is the element that can be important from operational point of view in order to be able to cope with the required volumes. So in terms of payment card as a strategy, we are focusing, as we mentioned, on the 5 different areas that we have seen, and that is represented basically in those 3 bullet points. So the first, we are expanding our AI capabilities to increase the effectiveness, right? And this is seen in the investigator tool item that we will discuss in a bit. The AI explainability, standardization of data processing and streaming, and embrace of general and adaptive methods. So whenever we are developing AI or machine learning models specifically, we are always thinking about a general model that will fit different channels' need, and not a model that will only work for certain cases or certain scenarios. So generalization is part of the big game. Some of the models will be required to be very specific and very, I would say, overfitted to customer data, but those are special cases, and generally we should be working towards the generalization of our models. We are also looking to expand our target market expansion, and this will happen by expansion of the channels that we cover. So we started with Swift, we added the support for additional channels like the digital channels, mobile banking, e-banking, and with more additions to the stack of channels that we support, we will be able to approach different market segments as prospects. And this is also important to note that the modeling library expansion is also part of the equation. As I mentioned, we are continuously evolving our modeling library to be able to cover different requirements at different markets. Finally, we have the high volume support, and here we are talking mainly about the TPS of the system, how many transactions we can process per second, and this will require enhancements from several aspects, starting with the vertical and horizontal scalability, and the high availability nature of the services that we provide, and also the effectiveness of the services that we deploy even on a single stack. So increasing the performance of the system will require vertical and horizontal scalability, and this is part of our roadmap for this year to expand the system capability or performance capability more towards using the single node, each single node within the stack of nodes used for deployment more effectively. The vertical scalability, as I mentioned, this is the first item. We will be working on this during the Q1. So we will be targeting the enhancement of TPS. And this will enable us to approach a more of, I would say, more towards the tier 1 banks. Currently, we have some clients who are processing a high number of transactions per hour, yet we are preparing to approach more of a large customer, and this will require us to ensure that the TPS and the availability of the services that we offer to our clients are up to the required standard for such a volume. In terms of the behavior analysis, and this is one of the important aspects, we are offering we are going to work on the user behavior analysis in terms of supporting a general module that can fit and work on different environments, and this will expand the solution coverage, enabling us to execute scenarios that are currently, for example, available for Swift or for any specific channel. So having a generalized UBA model will be extremely useful to expand the coverage across our channels. The explainability of AI is the last item here, and this will enhance the output of the system, mainly enhance the way the users of our system perceive the outputs and understand them, which is an extremely important aspect of any monitoring solution. In terms of our artificial intelligence roadmap, this can be described in simple terms that currently we are offering a rule-based solution with the flavor of AI. Maybe Payment Guard is not on the early stage here at the fragmented rule. It contains rules, but it also contains models that are of machine learning nature that are generalized. So we are working our way to be a holistic AI-based solution, which means that as we go, we develop models that will be self-adapting, generalized, and will work with different types of data without having to write rules. Rules, at the end of the day, will always be required for certain cases, but minimizing the usage of rules, expanding the holistic AI models usage is our target, and this is the I would say this is the milestones that we are currently having on our roadmap, and hopefully by achieving those milestones, we will be able to move to the holistic AI-based solution. When it comes to our roadmap, those are the items that are on our quarters. Q1 seems to be simple, yet we are working on the item of vertical scalability. So in this item, we are expanding the effectiveness of usage for the machines that we are deploying on. This is targeting the vertical specifically, not the horizontal, because we already support the high availability, the multi-node usages, but now we are reviewing the enhancements in terms of vertical scalability and how we utilize the machine that we are deploying on. So this item will hopefully yield some good enhancement to our TPS and the total performance of the controls that we are executing. Next item is the cloud integration. Swift Alliance Cloud integration is a particularly important one. We are currently working with Swift to integrate our solution with Alliance Cloud, Alliance Cloud is supposed to be the replacement of Swift Alliance Access, Swift Lite 2. I would not say in the far future. It is expected to start replacing the Lite 2 soon, and maybe within the next few years to start to replace the Alliance, Swift Alliance Access. There will be some updates to the license validation. Currently, the structure of the license is being discussed, and there will be some update. Those will be announced once finalized with our internal teams. And as for each quarter, there will be an item that will contain new models. So we always leave room on our roadmap to develop new models to enrich our library. So in each quarter, as you can see here, there will be an item for new models. For quarter 2, we have the learning period management, where we will be able to control which period of the historic data should be used to train the models. This is an important element whenever there are anomalies within the data that we want to skip, for example, or to exclude from the training process. User behavior analysis is the standardized model that we discussed, and this is a part of the major updates that will be on our 2023 roadmap. Advanced link analysis and entity resolution. So currently our link analysis provide the access to the static information for customers and accounts, and links counterparties together, detections and connections. And next we will enhance this particular feature to enable a more of an efficient entity resolution within the link analysis. Model manager enhancement, and this mainly targets the tracking and monitoring of the models, the effectiveness and efficiency of the model. When, for example, if I have a model that have been running for like 6 months, and then the model manager will detect some increase in the false positive, so model manager will be responsible of monitoring that and signaling when to reinitiate the training process, so on and so forth. So this is extremely important when it comes to keep on top of the model performance and how it performs in live environment. Detection prioritization is mainly targeting the sorting and prioritization of detections in Detection Manager, and this will be configurable depending on the factors that will matter most for the financial institution, and this way they can process the detections as according to the priorities they set on the Detection Manager configuration. SMS gateway integration. This is a direct integration with the SMS. As you know, there is a status in Payment Guard that will do the customer challenge through a third channel. SMS is one of them, and we will be working on expanding our integration to directly integrate with the SMS gateway to acquire the customer challenge state directly, rather than relying on the middlewares or the intermediary layers provided by financial institutions. Lastly, we have the new models as we discussed for previous quarter. In quarter 3, we have the AI model explainability. So as I mentioned, this is something that relates to how we present the violations that are coming from the AI models. Those are currently being handled in a simple way, I would say. So having more details, explainable details, will be extremely important, and this item will be targeting this particular area. Detection reminders and SLA. This is also a part of the prioritization. This is a separate item, but it is under the same umbrella, and this will target the transactions that has SLAs and will handle the workflow accordingly. So it is like an escalation matrix, but in a way that is tied to the SLA. Near real-time AI models, and in this particular feature, we are targeting the development of models that will be executed not against real-time traffic or live transactions during execution, but in real time. And that will enable us to execute those models with a more of a complex logic that is not bounded to the real-time execution time frame. This will enable us to identify trends, to identify cases that are not covered within the models that are executing real-time against the traffic. Container-based deployment to further support the cloud deployments. This will enable us also to be more compatible with the orchestration concept. So container-based deployment is extending our support for the cloud, I would say. New models for Q3 is the last item for this quarter. For Q4, we have a new dashboard. The fraud KPI dashboard will present elements that we calculate about fraud. So this will be part of the ready-made dashboards, not the self-service ones. So it will be available as a ready-to-use dashboard. Advanced warning model for the XML, adding XML support. So currently, the warning models does not support the XML formats. And those are of post-fact nature, so we will add support to deal with XML data in the warning models. And last item here, we have the HRMS integration, and this will enable us to further identify the user behavior, user state through inquiries that can be sent to the HRMS system to inquire what is the status of the user. For example, this enables the execution of a scenario that will have the logic of if the user is initiating a transaction, but the HRMS system is saying that this particular user is on vacation, for example. This is not like a full support of the internal fraud aspects, but this is just one additional scenario that will enable the identification of such case like the one I described. And finally, we have the new models for Q4. When it comes to payment guard license is currently handled as one license. It will continue as such in 2023. Currently, just as a note, we are discussing a new mechanism for having the separation of the license as elements similar to other applications, but this will not be effective until we agree on it, and it will be announced prior to that. So for the year 2023, we continue to work with payment guard license as it was before 2023. Finally, our offering and proposition points for payment guard are really simple. So payment guard is an easy to deploy solution. AI capabilities that are included in payment guard are prepackaged, so the usage of the models is very simple for our customers, and this will lower the total cost of ownership. Whatever we are providing as part of our solution is applicable without much of an intervention from our users, and mainly we are relying on the data that are coming from the customers on the transactions, and the usage of this data will later be done by our backend services. So this will make sure that we are applying the models in the easiest way. We are lowering the total cost of ownership and the rework that might be required by our solution users whenever they are trying to update the scenarios they are applying based on machine learning or other, and having the deployment as smooth as possible. So with that, I end my presentation. I hope that it was informative, and I believe we can move to the questions. Mohammed, if you can help me, because I can't see the...
Yeah, I will go through the questions. Thank you, Atallah, for the session. Just to highlight before jumping into questions that Payment Guard is one for this year, due to the fact that all regulators are pushing towards a fraud prevention solution to be in place for all banks. So you will be having a lot of requests from banks. If we dig deep, we can find a lot of need within banks for either the payments fraud or internal fraud, and our solution can provide a lot of these capabilities. We are planning for some sessions starting next month with our partners, so we can go deeper into details with these functionalities and capabilities. Let me go through the questions that we have here. We have one question from Ahmed. What connector Payment Guard provide to communicate with the back office systems?
Yeah, so in Payment Guard, we do offer two different integration points. The first one is dedicated for Swift and can only be used for Swift. For any other integration, we offer the RESTful API in synchronous and asynchronous mode, and this can be utilized to integrate with Payment Guard from any source system.
Okay. Based on the current experience that you have in the product, what is the best transaction per second that we were able to get, and what we are aiming for in the enhancements in future?
With I would say with a single stack, we are working on a benchmarking that will be published once ready. But with single stack server, we have been able to achieve 100 plus transaction per second. And this number is only for one machine. So if you want to have a better TPS, as I mentioned during the presentation, Payment Guard do support high availability, and we can add more nodes, more machines, more services to be able to enhance this more. But at the end of the day, the performance itself is tightly coupled with the benchmarking elements, which is the number of scenarios, the complexity of data for each scenario. So this can be different, but one of the benchmarks that we already executed achieved already 100 plus transaction per second with a single node, and this can be further enhanced with the addition of more resources.
Yeah, so this is the baseline, we would say, for a simple implementation, and it can be scaled up.
Yep.
By scaling up the servers and with our enhancements that will be coming in place to assist in that. Talking about the instant payments now globally and fast payments in APAC region specifically, and the rise of fraud within these messages. Can the Payment Guard cover this type of transactions?
Sure. We have already worked with some of our clients, and I would like to mention one of them, which is a major network in the GCC connecting hundreds of banks together, and they are working specifically on the instant payments. We are aware and fully planning to have instant payments and all the channels that work in the same pace in the back of our mind whenever we are developing any feature. So the time frame that we're talking about here is few seconds, and this is something that we already achieved with some of our clients, namely the one in GCC, which is a network that connects banks together.
Okay. This is a question that I think that it might be, I don't know if we can answer or not, but this can affect most of our partners. A lot of our partners are also very familiar with Swift products and technologies. So in comparison to the payment control that we have from Swift, I don't know if we can just answer that in here, but what are the characteristics that can differentiate our product on top of the payment control?
Certainly. I would start with the nature of the deployment. So payment controls are only available on the cloud, and it has very limited access to the data that might be very useful to identify fraud cases. So this leaves the payment control as an outsider set of controls that will work on only a number or portion of the scenarios that might be implemented, which is not a problem for Payment Guard because it is implemented directly over the environment. It has full access to the data, users' data, login, access data, and other types of data. If we are talking about Swift as a scope only, this is something, but also Payment Guard can be utilized for other channels, while the payment control is only usable with Swift. This is something that to keep in mind always whenever we are proposing the solution, because I would not believe that any institution or I would not say any institution, let's form it in most of the institution would rather invest in a solution that will serve for different channels rather than investing for several solutions for each will handle only a specific channel. When it comes to the access to the other channels, like the back office, for example, Payment Guard can achieve a real-time reconciliation of data while you have to work at the end of day to reconcile data because payment controls would not cover such a requirement. So those are some of the major points that differentiate Payment Guard apart from the payment controls that is offered by Swift.
One last question before going to the next item. It was privately sent by the great Sunny, I would say. Sunny is asking on talking about the strategy, the product strategy that we have. Is it possible that we can communicate this with one of our customers or prospects in the region to discuss the strategy and what we have and make it as a case study to know what requirements are there and to expand in the region based on the current situation in APAC specifically. Let's take Singapore as an example. To go to a bank in Singapore and work with one of the clients to understand this market, to have it as a case study with them?
Yes, if I can answer that, Atullah and colleagues. Yes, absolutely. We've been delighted. And in fact, we're encouraging our channel partners to come forward to identify great customers that we can work with from a case study perspective, and also to act as a reference point for referrals where companies are doing evaluation around our products. And often they want to have a reference point with the customer. We have done a number of case studies, albeit a small number over the last 2 years, and we are looking to aggressively really expand upon that. So we really do welcome channel partner initiatives on that. Absolutely, we'll be delighted to present our overall product strategy across the full landscape. And also to have a deep dive on individual products such as the Payment Guard. So yeah, we welcome these initiatives and we're looking forward to seeing those coming to fruition. And please speak to the channel partner team on that, and they'll work in partnership with the product team to take those forward.
Okay, thank you. That's great to hear, and we will convert this message every time we speak to our partners. Thank you so much, Atullah. Thank you, Saeed, always for your help. And this was an informative. And I want to also re-stress that this is one of our main focuses for this year, and it's not our focus; it's the market focus now. Fraud prevention solutions. So. It's a very agile solution now. It can be changing a lot in the next couple of months. So with the help of our partners, we can also enhance our offerings. Thank you, Atullah. Before jumping to the next session with Reem about the training and certifications, I wanted to highlight one aspect in here. Tomorrow, we will be having a session on payment safe, which is our payment hub solution. And as you saw in the past sessions that we had talking about the AML, fraud prevention, and the screening specifically. We have a very good integration level with our payment hub solution. So we need to focus also about the next session that we will be handling next tomorrow, because we believe that payment safe can act as a hub that we can sell to our customers, and they can benefit from the integration with all our offerings. So it will be very beneficial for us and our partners to have it as an intermediary solution to focus on that. So I will urge you tomorrow morning to be available in the sessions, to be very attentive to the payment safe, specifically with Afif. Most of you have more information about it, but we need more on this topic. Now, last but not least, this will be our final session. It's with Reem. Reem will be talking more about the trainings that we provide and what trainings that are already available. Maybe she can talk a bit about our academy and the certification program that we are targeting. Sorry, Reem, for making you waiting. So the floor is yours. Please.
Hello, everyone. I will be talking to you about Eastnets Academy, as Muhammad mentioned. I know that many of you are already familiar with the Academy, but I will provide you with a brief today and to encourage you to utilize the resources we have more and the services that we provide. So Eastnets Academy is basically a learning community that is designed for collaborative learning through a collection of online courses, videos, and recorded sessions. The mission for the Academy is to create a learning community for Eastnets employees, partners, and customers, and accommodate their learning and training needs. The vision is to be a central hub for all the training requirements for all the stakeholders. We have basically 3 services, or let's say 3 main services in our academy. The first one is the online courses and videos, and we have a wide variety of those, and we will talk about them in the next slide. We also facilitate trainings internally and externally for partners, customers, and even for employees. And we have some educational programs like the certification program. We utilize a learning management system that hosts a wide collection and variety of online courses. The first one is the product training series, which is basically an introduction to all Eastnets products, their features, their modules, how to utilize them, and how to do the technical part of the setup in some of them. In this area, we are currently finalizing 2 important courses. The first one is the SafeWatch Screening 5.0 course, which will be released by the end of this month. And we are also working on a Payments Guard course that will hopefully be released within February. Another area that we cover is the compliance fundamentals, where we provide information about anti-money laundering, counter-terrorism financing regulations around the world, and how they are implemented within our products. We have also some project management courses related to the PMP and Agile. We have some technical lab training series that contain information important to the setup of some of our products, like the Oracle and SQL technical courses. We also have the Artificial Intelligence program, which is basically a program that was initially done internally within Eastnets to provide Eastnets employees an overview about the AI concept and take them through the journey of implementing the AI within our products, what is currently implemented, and what are the techniques that are utilized. And we also have the awareness sessions. Those are done regularly within Eastnets to provide an overview for employees about all the new features and new releases of our products, and even to provide a refreshment of our products to all the employees and especially the new joiners as well. All those sessions are recorded and uploaded to the Academy, so everyone can utilize them, benefit from the information and from the discussions that happen during those sessions. The other area that we cover is the training facilitation for our customers and partners, and also internally for Eastnets employees. The external training that we do covers both aspects, the business and technical trainings, and those can be done on site at the customer or partner premises, or remotely through any of the virtual means that can be utilized. And finally, I would like to talk about the certification program that we provide. And the aim of this program is to provide our partners with the skills they need for selling and implementing our products. This program is comprised of 3 phases. The first one is the business and technical training, which is done through an instructor-led classroom training. After this comprehensive training, the partners will have a self-study phase. It can be up to 3 months, where they can study the material that they have been given. If they have access to a virtual environment, they can navigate through the system, make sure that they know all the features, they know how to do the setup, etc. Once they are ready, we move to the 3rd phase, which is the examination phase. This can be comprised of 2 parts. The first one is the online test that is done through the Academy, and the other part is a hands-on evaluation that is conducted by one of our engineers that are specialized in the solution, so they can evaluate the resource and make sure that they possess all the right information that they need. I would like to stress that this is a very necessary program for our partners, and it will provide them with the adequate skills and all the information they need in order to provide proper implementation for their customers, and also provide an adequate level of support that they need. That's all from my side. I'm not sure if there are any questions. Muhammad?
Let me check. Judy is asking, where can I find the cost of online courses? The online courses that we have in our academy, it won't be chargeable, but in case you need a specific course for your team, it will be chargeable based on the man days that will be spent in the premises. Sorry, Reem, I'm replying on your behalf. And she wants the details on our online courses, how she can get these.
I think we can take this separately because maybe we can provide access to the academy, and then we can walk them through the available courses and what are the ones that are beneficial to them.
And just to add from my side, this is Dennis. Thank you very much, Reem, for taking us through the training proposition. I think this is very important. We obviously had to do it in the last 10 minutes. There's much more that we have to do around this. So in the next few weeks, Mohammed and I will be reaching out to our partners to discuss the trainings for the upcoming year, which, as I said, is a very critical. We want to ensure that there's the right knowledge transfer and that you guys have the right skills and capabilities for the sales, implementation, and support, especially given that there's so many developments in our products. So Mohammed, I know we're out of time. I think we're planning a quick wrap up. I know if you want to say a final final word. I think it is very important what you stressed. Please join us tomorrow for the sessions. There's quite a few important things we'll be going through. And Mohammed stressed the importance of and the leeway into the payment safe that we're going to talk about tomorrow. But anything else you would like, Mohammed? And I think we'll end at that.
Just a quick one. Thank you all for attending. And as I mentioned and Dennis mentioned, it's not only the payment safe tomorrow. We have tomorrow as well the TDR, and the DDA, which is the messaging that we have. Most of our partners are familiar with this, so we will be sharing more about the roadmaps on these and what's new with these. And at the same time, again, as mentioned by Dennis, we will be reaching out to talk more about the trainings. Specifically, as a start, will be the 5.0 certification program for our partners. We will be discussing this in the next couple of weeks. To be honest, next week I will be reaching out to you to have more details about the 5.0 and to have the way forward on that. Thank you for having us for an additional 4 minutes on the proposed time. Thank you, Saeed. Thank you, our product managers, for time. Thank you, our partners. It's always great to be engaging with you. We will try to have more sessions of this because we believe that we are sharing what is our strategy in all our products. So please join us tomorrow to have more information about our products and strategy. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have a good evening, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.